Alright guys, so it looks like Ian has finally given a formal response to being dissed by Tyler the Creator in a sit-down interview. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background, go over the interview itself, just a clip of him addressing Tyler, and of course share my thoughts. So let's get into it. Alright, so unless you have no idea at all about the underground, this sphere, you definitely have heard of this, but I'll just catch everyone up to speed. About a year ago, like a little less than a year ago, Tyler the Creator was doing this interview and he randomly brought up Ian. He didn't directly name drop him, but he basically said, yo, there's this white kid. He's like mocking Future and Gucci Mane, and it's weird, dude. It's like he's cosplaying. It's like pretty much insinuating that it was racist and Ian was like a culture vulture and all of that. And that's a whole thing in just hip hop in general, like white rappers have always had to beat the culture vulture allegations. And since then, a lot has happened. At first, Ian got a huge wave of hate because there's this whole sector of hip hop that's very because historically black genres have always been stolen by white people. I guess it's just like history. You can just read up on it. Little Richard, Elvis, whatever, right? So on the internet and just in hip hop and music in general, there's a huge community of people who are very protective over black genres. And of course, rap is one of them. So they were immediately activated. This was like the bat signal for those people. And he got a huge wave of hate. And I'm not gonna lie, he handled it really well. Recently, the months ago, Ian did a Lyrical Lemonade freestyle and he responded to it as a part of that song. And I don't think he did an amazing response, but he said something that back then I really loved Odd Future. I never sat down trying to mock Future. I didn't want to show no disrespect, so I kept my mouth shut, and that's not human. Would have been a dumbass thing to do. So I'm not gonna lie, and by the way, we're getting to the actual sit-down interview. I'm gonna catch everyone up, and I feel like going over the context would just help the response better. This could have been way harder. I have a friend, and he was telling me, he's like, what Ian should have done was remixed one of Tyler's songs and done a response on that, and that would have been cooler. But looking back, what Ian is doing is basically just being super respectful. He's basically just killing everyone with kindness. Does that make sense? He's not saying anything to ruffle anyone's feathers, because I will say one thing. I'll give Post Malone as a case study. Post Malone, when he got these culture vulture allegations, he did not respond to it well. He did this TV interview where he kind of broke down, and before he said I just don't want to be trapped by one genre. We recently saw Tommy Richmond also say the same thing. Just responding to it and trying to explain yourself. If you try to explain yourself, you're done. Whenever a mob is coming after you, you say the wrong, you don't want to give them more ammo by opening your mouth. So Ian was really smart with what he did. And if you even break down his response in this song or freestyle on Lyrical Lemonade, he says, I didn't want to show any disrespect, so I kept my mouth shut, but it's not human. But he also said it would have been a dumb thing to do. And he's so right. I'm not gonna lie, I feel him so much when he says it would have been a dumb thing to do, because if he opened his mouth and shot back at Tyler, the perception of Ian would be totally different. Totally different. You know what I mean? And he would have it would have been pouring gasoline on that hate wave that was coming his way, which honestly doesn't even really exist anymore. So anyways, literally today, Ian did this interview with Complex, or it came out at least, and he's very soft-spoken, very well-spoken, and I'm just gonna cut it up as I speak about it.
You put out the Lyrical Lemonade freestyle where you kind of address the comments that Tyler the Creator made. You said that you never meant to mock Future and that you were going through it at that point, but you chose to stay quiet. Why did you take that route when all of that was going on?
I think to me, it didn't feel like I was in a place where I could combat how he felt. I was also just really uncertain and unclear on everything. I found out super randomly, just seeing this clip fly everywhere with my name and his super big up next to each other, and I was like, damn, I'm just crazy. This doesn't even feel like something that's proper to address right now. I let it simmer for a little bit, and when I had a platform like the Lyrical Lemonade freestyle to share something genuine with people and speak honestly, felt like a proper time to clear up a few things. I fully understand where some of the anger and shock might come from with Tyler, as is with really any artist, but much less one who looks like me and sounds the way I do. I respect everything that he's done with his career, everything that he's done as an artist. I think he might have just construed what I have going on as a joke, or like he said, a mockery of things that have already existed and are already legendary, which is just, it's not the case. I take the process and everybody I work with and the feeling of the music very seriously. I mean, hopefully one day you might recognize that.
So yeah, I lied. I just played the full like 1 minute and 40 seconds. And basically, this was like the most PR trained, smart, chill, people skilled response by a rapper we've probably seen in a while, surrounded by a controversy like this. He basically was like, yo, you know, like when I first saw it, I was like, what? He's dissing me? Like his big name next to my name, like, you know, blah, blah, blah. But at the time, I just didn't know how to feel about anything. So he just kept quiet, which, you know, was a good move. And now he's like getting people's sympathy. Then he was like, yeah, and you know, when I got a platform to, you know, express my feelings genuinely, I just let it out a little bit, and very like light sidetrack, and it was cool. And then finally he was like, he gave his real response, not real response, but like the PR trained-ish response. So it was like, all right, so, you know, I really respect Tyler the Creator. I just feel like he misconstrued what I had going on or what I got going on. And, you know, I'm not trying to mock anything legendary. I'm just trying to do me. And he even said, I understand how some people might feel seeing someone that looks like me, as in like a very regular white guy who sounds like me. If he basically doesn't sound like a regular white guy when he raps, at least. And I'm not gonna lie, this is just like such, I've said that so many times this video, but this is just such a good response. And you could just look at the comment section, like there's nothing to hate. There's literally no angle to hate on him from what he just said. It's like bulletproof. Good kid, good interview. This was sincere. Good answer. I still like Tyler's music way more than his, but I like this response. GOAT, well spoken. There was one hater actually. It's crazy because Tyler didn't even mention his name. This was a very, very mature answer. Maybe I was looking at bro a little differently, because even before Tyler's comments, I had issue with his music. It didn't sound distinct or intentional in any way to me, but I was probably too harsh on it initially. More than willing to give bro a chance. So yeah, pretty much everyone is like, has been saying something super positive about Ian. It's also technically Ian's first sit-down interview. Like he's never done an actual interview yet. Maybe like something on print, or, and when I say print, I mean like on text, but it was smart to like play it off as, oh, just being addressed in his first interview. But yeah, overall, I would say Ian is actually in like a very interesting spot right now, because I don't know, I'm kind of curious about what he does next. He's been dropping these singles, and I'm sure they're doing all right on streaming, and he has a decent community and fan base, but I don't think any of them are really like moving people, if that makes sense. He's kind of just sticking to the same formula. I saw he drop something with Nino Pade. I'm not gonna lie, like I listened to the song a little bit. It was cool, but, and you know, Nino Pade and Ian, they honestly fit very well next to each other, but as like a full, the song just wasn't like a banger, if I'm being real with you. But, you know, Ian does have some pretty big TikTok songs that are doing well for him. He does have crazy engagement on social media, and he clearly has a good head on his shoulders. So I don't know, I guess we'll just have to see how good the music he drops is, because I feel like this time, like right now, there's an, you know, he hasn't teased anything, but there's absolutely no hype for an Ian album. There's like no hype at all. And I don't really seeing there be more hype until he has like a hot single or two. Because I feel like last time, because Ian had blown up so fast with that song Figure It Out, everyone was so invested in his journey just to see like, oh, can he do this? Can he like keep going? Oh, he's dropping a tape. Oh, he's dropping another album, and they had all these critiques. And I wouldn't say the music he dropped was the best, but it was definitely like cool party music. It's like frat music almost. It's like, all right, this is cool. It's not bad. People are rocking with him. He went on a bunch of tours, like not a bunch of tours, but I think like 2. He played a lot of shows. He did something off of it. I feel like now, and a lot of rappers have this, they have like the sophomore slump where in their second year, their second round, like second album, they have a hard time connecting. Like I believe Lil Tecca had it, and he just slowly like built himself back up to where he's just doing crazy numbers. I wonder what Ian's strategy and plan is going to be, because I feel like the whole like white boy doing trap is, that card has been dealt. You know what I mean? So yeah, anyways, my thoughts on it. Wanted to cover it because, I don't know, just interesting to me. Anyways, peace. Take care. Bye.